Today, in the CB750 Cafe Racer project, we will make a tray that goes under the seat. I do mold for the tray, then some massive sparks flying while angle grinding. After that, caveman style sheet metal bending, and of course more sparks flying from welding. Before we move on, big thank you to all for subscribing. We are almost at 200 mark. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you like and subscribe. The tray is meant to house all the electric modules of the bike, as well as the battery that will be under the rear hump. I start the job by making a mold out of cardboard, a shoe box if we're being precise. I will first make a model for the straight section and then one for the back loop. I try to get the dimensions as close as possible to the correct ones, so that the metal version does not have to be modified, at least not very much. I tape to the body of the mold to make the underside flush with the body. I transfer the mold to the sheet metal plate and measure the excesses for the folds. I draw the shape of the back loop freehand, following the massive use of an angle grinder. Whether the tray is deep enough for the modules will become clear later. I have not yet decided if I will use the original parts, or if I will get a more civilized control device. Alternatives are at least M unit that seems to be popular, but it's also a bit salty on price. Other one I have seen is X21 used by Brick House Builds, and here in Europe Kilted Bushido Builds is the provider. Well, we will see later what we end up. Since I don't have any fancy metal bending device, I use a vise and a hammer to make the bends. First I make bend with vise for straight lines. Then I use flat head metal hammer to finish the edge. At the same time, I pull the sheet down a little to help the formation of the edge. At this point, I was still thinking of making up the rounded fold for the back loop as well, and in a certain way I did it. I used basic pliers, a hammer and a metal shaping dolly for rest of the shaping. I use pliers to start bend for rounded section. After that I continue by hammering it against metal dolly. Afterwards I could have left this bend out. But on the other hand, I got to try it and noticed that my metalworking skills need a little practice. Bend came out semi-good, but as you see next I made some changes. And stop. As you can see I cut the back of the tray flat, because I couldn't get the shape as I wanted and as pretty I wanted. When the tray is in a correct form, I spot weld it in place. Of course I did this 2 times, because at the first time the tray was in the wrong place. At this stage, I don't do the final welding yet, because I want to make sure first that the tray is deep enough to hold all necessary stuff. Hit like and subscribe to my channel. If you got this far, I hope you liked it. Now that you know where we are with the build, hop to previous episode to see how we made previous modifications. Or hop to next one to see what happens to this build next.